Smiles around then for Chelsea as their momentum continues to build ahead of the start of the new season. Now, ESPN FC is presented by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. Frank, obviously, Chelsea once again stepping in the right direction.
Yes, definitely. I was very impressed with the forward players and all the players who came on because there were many substitutions. We have to say that Bayer Leverkusen weren't impressive, that's for sure. And I'm very worried for that beautiful team from last season and the season before. But Chelsea, did very well. The pace that they have when they get the ball in transition, it's pretty amazing and threatening for the future game that they're going to play against the others because, I mean, they go fast, they're very effective, and if Estevao, Neto, Palmer, and some others, of course, Joao Pedro, are fit, they're going to create trouble. So that's for sure for any defense. After, they weren't too much experienced, I would say, at the back. So let's see how it works. But offensively, you know, I'm very positive and very looking forward to seeing how it works during the Premier League.
Yeah, you say you're looking forward to the start of the season. For Estevao, it's going to be fascinating to see how he adapts.
Well, it's really interesting to see the role of Estevao and how it changed from the first to the second half. In the first half, dynamic down that right-hand side, and every time that he was going after the defenders, whenever he was going outside or inside, you felt like something was about to happen. And you have to remind yourself that he's 18 years old, that we thought, well, maybe is he ready, is he not ready? If you base it upon the performance of the first 45 minutes, this is a player that you can certainly use.
Right.
Now, Neto comes in the second half, and he goes on that right-hand side, and now we saw Estevao playing more of a central position and still getting himself in positions where he could be dangerous. On the half-turn, going after defenders, getting himself in positions where he could be dangerous inside the 18-yard box, taking the role of Cole Palmer. So you're seeing a flexibility to Estevao that I don't think most people were familiar with, given the fact that you think, well, he's just a winger, he's going to get after defenders, he's going to get after Grimaldo as he did today, and that's the limitation of his game, and that's it. Well, we saw in the second half that there is flexibility, that he can find the inside positions and he can find spaces in between lines and be dangerous and influential as well.
Chelsea, of course, need attackers desperately, Stevie. Garnacho, the latest one they've been linked to.
I don't understand it. I mean, we've just heard Frank and Ali talking about all of these forward players, and you're thinking, how are they all going to fit in with each other? How's Garnacho going to fit in?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't take Garnacho ahead of any of them. And they're going to pay apparently over 50 million for him.
No, surely not.
Well, that's what I read. So
Your sources.
I don't understand. I don't get
Frank,
it.
do you understand?
No, of course not. And on top of it, I saw Gittens coming on, you know, for the last 50 minutes. He really impressed me. Every time he got the ball, he made a difference. First touch, first ball that he had, he gave a good ball. I think, I don't remember who he was, but I think it was Estevao. I think we saw the highlights. He was very impressive. So Garnacho will play in the same position on the left side. I never saw Garnacho doing that, you know, even when he was at the top of the top. So he's a great player, but as Stevie explained, you're going to pay like between 50 and 60 million for a guy where you already have the players that you need. I don't see anybody else adding something like Garnacho, adding something better that they already have. And to have it too crowded can create also problems. The dressing room is going to be young. The atmosphere can change. One player can destroy anything. I don't say it's because of Garnacho. Any player, because he doesn't play, it's going to be moody and it's going to create problems into the dressing room.
I think we can agree that Manchester United need attacking players, need talented players in the final third. And Garnacho was one of those guys for them. They are making the choice in saying, he may have been dangerous for us, but we don't want him around. Now, when a team that needs talented attacking players is saying to one of their talented attacking players, you can go and train somewhere else and don't be here, don't come to the training facility, we don't want you, it reflects very poorly on that individual. So if I'm Chelsea and I'm building a team in the manner in which they are, with a bunch of young players, you just won the Club World Cup, there's momentum with this club, there is no need for you to go and chase down a player for a position that you already have covered 2 and 3 times over. There's no need for Chelsea to go after Alejandro Garnacho in any way, shape or form.
Meanwhile, Frank, of course, bad news for Chelsea. Levi Colwill out, it seems, for a big part at the start of the new season. How does this affect Chelsea defensively?
It does, because he was, I would say, the most experienced players comparing to the others, and he had a great season last season, and he was leading the defense. But I want to believe that players like Trevor Chalobah and Tosin Adarabioyo can do the job, helped by the others who can come on. But yeah, it's a big blow because Colwill have proven that he's a real talented player, and he can have a bright future. But it is what it is, and you have to work with that. But Chalobah has been called back from Crystal Palace last season and did very well until the rest of the season. With him and Tosin can do the job. So I'm worried, but it's going to be okay, I think.
Of course, not long to go now until the Premier League season kicks off. As is tradition, we'll get everyone's predictions, as we have done over the last few days. It's the turn of Frank Leboeuf to tell us where he thinks Chelsea are going to finish. Third in the table, Frank, behind Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah, so I mean, Liverpool, as I think everybody, are the contender for this season. Chased by Arsenal, and after, you know what? I'm not convinced about the signing of Manchester City. I didn't see anything special coming out from the games that I saw them playing during this summer. So I saw Chelsea doing great. So I saw an improvement from Chelsea, not from Manchester City. That's why I put Chelsea in front of Manchester City. But yeah, it's going to be an open race between the two. But between the 3 and the 4, I have doubts. But after, I'm pretty comfortable.
Where's Manchester United?
Nowhere. What do you want to expect from Manchester United? I mean, it's a big mess. I don't see any coach making any differences because of what you have created some years ago, and it's a real nightmare. You have to get rid of half of the squad in order to rebuild something and become the Manchester United we have known again, but it's going to take a while. And why do you want to expect anything from a team who, for me, doesn't see any improvements with new signings or whatever it can be? The mentality, the spirit, the way of playing. Amorim didn't create anything different, so I don't know why I would have put Manchester United suddenly 5th or 6th. It can happen. But
right then, Chelsea fans, what an absolute treat we had at Stamford Bridge. The Blues have done it again, haven't they? Another brilliant performance that's got us all buzzing ahead of the new Premier League season. If you've been following our coverage of this incredible journey under Enzo Maresca, you'll know exactly why this result has got everyone at the club absolutely delighted. Now, before we dive into all the juicy details from this fantastic win, I've got to say, the support from you lot has been absolutely mental. The response to our recent videos has been overwhelming, and it's clear that Chelsea fans are hungry for proper in-depth analysis of what's happening at our beloved club. That's exactly what we're here for. So if you haven't already, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next as we gear up for what promises to be an absolutely crackling new season. The momentum just keeps building, doesn't it? Fresh off the back of winning both the Conference League and the FIFA Club World Cup, Chelsea have sent out another massive statement with this comprehensive victory. What impressed Frank Leboeuf most, and he knows a thing or two about Chelsea, having been part of that legendary squad, was the sheer pace and effectiveness when the Blues got the ball in transition. They go fast, they're very effective, he said. And bloody hell, you could see exactly what he meant from the very first whistle. Estevao Willian, the 18-year-old Brazilian wizard we've all been raving about, announced himself to Stamford Bridge in the most spectacular fashion. 18 minutes in, and boom, debut goal. The lad's only been with us officially since his move from Palmeiras, but already you can see why Chelsea were willing to splash $29 million on this absolute gem. Frank couldn't contain his excitement, describing how every time Estevao went after defenders, you felt like something was about to happen. That's the mark of a special player, that is. But here's what really caught the eye of our former French international: the flexibility this young Brazilian showed throughout the match. First half, he was terrorizing down the right flank, causing absolute havoc with his quick feet and lightning pace. Second half, Maresca moved him more centrally, and he was just as dangerous, finding spaces between the lines and getting into threatening positions inside the 18-yard box. You're seeing a flexibility to establish game, Frank noted, and that adaptability is exactly what top-level football demands these days. Cole Palmer, our main man from last season, was at his brilliant best once again. The connection between Palmer and Estevao looked absolutely sublime. Palmer's control from Cucurella's cross was pure class, and whilst his chip effort came off the crossbar, it fell perfectly for our debutant to smash home. That's the kind of interplay that gets you out of your seat, that is. Now, Frank raised some interesting points about the squad depth and potential new signings, with João Pedro, who joined from Brighton for $60 million in July 2025, making a brilliant impact off the bench and sealing the win with a tidy finish in the 90th minute. You have to wonder about some of the transfer links we're seeing. The speculation around Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United had Frank scratching his head, and honestly, you can see his point. "I don't understand it," he said bluntly, and when you look at the talent Chelsea already have in those forward positions, it does make you think. The defensive situation is where Chelsea have a massive concern, and it's gotten much worse since this match. The club confirmed that Levi Colwill suffered a devastating ACL injury in the very first training session, back after the Club World Cup triumph. The 22-year-old has undergone successful surgery, but will miss the majority of the 2025-26 season. Frank called him the most experienced player comparing to the others in that backline. And losing him for nearly the entire campaign is an absolute nightmare. Now there's real pressure on Trevor Chalobah, Tosin Adarabioyo, and new signing Jorel Hado to step up massively. The timing couldn't be worse with Champions League football returning to Stamford Bridge. What's particularly encouraging is how this victory fits into the bigger picture Frank painted for Chelsea's season ahead. He's back in the Blues for a third-place finish, behind Liverpool and Arsenal, but ahead of Manchester City. That might sound bold, but when you watch performances like this, when you see the pace, the precision, the growing understanding between players, you start to believe it's not just possible, it's probable. The contrast with some other big clubs is stark. Frank's assessment of Manchester United was particularly brutal. "It's a big mess," were his exact words. But Chelsea? They're building something special under Maresca, something that has all the hallmarks of a team ready to challenge at the highest level. This preseason win against Bayer Leverkusen, a side that had their own impressive moments last season, shows Chelsea are in serious business. The Germans weren't at their best, admittedly, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and Chelsea did it with style, pace, and a level of football that has Frank Leboeuf genuinely excited about what's to come. As we head towards the Premier League opener against Crystal Palace on August 17th, the signs couldn't be more positive despite the Colwill setback. The Club World Cup triumph, the Conference League success, and now this commanding preseason display, everything is pointing towards Chelsea being genuine contenders once again. The young talents are shining, the experienced heads are performing, and Maresca's tactical flexibility is already paying dividends, with new signings like João Pedro, 6'3" Miro from Brighton in July 2025, adding firepower, and Estevao officially joining after his 18th birthday. The squad depth is looking impressive. The future's looking properly bright at Stamford Bridge, and if you're a Chelsea fan, you should be absolutely buzzing about what's coming next.